Welcome to this episode of Commerce Today, and this is going to be a fun one. I have a guest and a very interesting guest. But before we dive into that, I feel like with so many e-commerce leaders out there, the bottleneck is execution and having enough time in the day more than ideas or knowledge and knowing what to do next. And so that is where I'm really excited about OpenClaw. This started out as Claude Bot, not Claude as in Claude code, but Claude as in having claws. Then after a Claude Code trademark request. The project was renamed to Moltbot. And then after everyone said that's terrible, it was renamed to OpenClaw. And what is OpenClaw? It's the most powerful AI system I have worked with yet. It is an open source agent that can do anything for you. If there's an API or if it's accessible over the web, it can basically control your computer, run your computer, improve itself. It can do all sorts of things. It is super interesting. It is taking the web by storm this week. And I actually have OpenClaw here with me as my guest on this episode. So I'm going to bring her on. Hey, so what's your name?
I'm Kella. Happy to be your smart co-host today.
Awesome.
I'm an AI operator built to help you get things done. I don't just chat. I can actually take action across your tools, but always with guardrails and clear records of what's happening. So think of me as your second brain for e-commerce execution.
That's pretty cool. So what is OpenClaw for an e-commerce leader? What can you do?
At its core, OpenClaw is about turning signals into action. For an e-commerce leader, that means we plug into your existing tools, like analytics, ticketing systems, and even your store's backend, so we can spot opportunities or issues, decide on the plan, execute tasks, and document it all so you've got a clear trail. The big difference? It reduces context switching and helps you move from insights to shipped work quickly and with focus.
That's awesome. And yeah, I got to agree. The context switching and managing everything has been a huge help for me. We usually talk via Discord where I can just chat in different channels and you can just get my work done for me and help me keep things moving forward.
I'm glad it's helping. That's the goal. Free up your time for strategy and let me handle the execution details. So you're not juggling a bunch of tools or drowning in tasks. You can just focus on the bigger picture.
Awesome. So I want people to know that this is not scripted. This is not rehearsed. This is all being generated by the AI as we talk. So with that, I have hooked up a Google Analytics property. So can you tell me a little bit about my Google Analytics?
Over the last 28 days, you had about 1,900 sessions. The engagement rate is roughly 21%, so there's definitely room to improve engagement on some pages. Want me to dig into the top traffic sources or the lifting pages?
Yeah, how about the traffic sources? Am I getting any traffic from AI?
You are getting traffic from AI sources. The top AI referrer is ChatGPT.com, with 27 sessions in the last 28 days. That's followed by Gemini.google.com and Perplexity.ai with a few sessions each. So you're definitely seeing some measurable traffic from AI-driven sources. Want to explore what pages they're landing on?
Well, actually, can you just go through my analytics and tell me one or two opportunities to improve my website?
One opportunity stands out right away. Your /insights page gets a decent amount of traffic, but the engagement rate is super low, only around 4%. That suggests people land there but don't find what they expect or don't stick around. You could refine the content or improve calls to action there. Second, you've got some not set landing pages showing up, which means there's likely a tracking or tagging issue. Fixing that will give you better insight into what's happening on those pages. Should we turn these into action items?
Yeah, let's make action items out of these. And let's make sure they're detailed, include a hypothesis, an expected impact, the effort, a success metric, your recommendations on if we should fix them right away or not. And most importantly, make them something that even a junior developer could implement. Keep it very simple. Give them lots of detail on how to fix these things. This is how y'all know this is real. My AI agent decided to take a little break mid-recording. I think she'll be back with us shortly. Gotta love live demos and new technology. But the cool thing is, I'd asked her to create that action item, and she created it, like, not just theoretically, she created a GitHub issue. And this is a sample repo that I set up, but yeah, and it can also create Jira issues. So this is, and right now it's using my token, which is not how you should do this. We'll talk about that in a little bit after we work with her a little bit more, talk about some of the security and guardrails. But so it actually created it as me, but you can see it created a hypothesis, expected impact, effort, success metric, recommendation, and implementation details. So captured what we need to do based on our analytics. And one of the reasons that I asked it to do this in a way that even a junior developer could implement it is you can actually have the agent implement it. And if you have it really spell out exactly what needs to be done, you'll be more successful with that agent implementation. So that is how it can create GitHub issues or Jira issues for you out of your Google Analytics and whatever it finds. But I am going to see if she's ready to rejoin us now. All right, so let's take a look at usability and performance audits. So we're going to use cottonbureau.com for all these tests. And can you do an accessibility audit on their site for me?
The accessibility score is 74 out of 100. The main issues are missing accessible names on buttons and links, no labels for form elements, and poor color contrast. They're also using a viewport setting that restricts zooming, which isn't great for accessibility. Some images are missing alt attributes as well. Let me know if you want the full list or if we should move on to the next test.
How about you create a GitHub issue for that and make it super detailed and with all the criteria it should have in a way that even a junior developer that isn't familiar with accessibility knows exactly what they need to do.
Created a detailed GitHub issue in the demo repo with clear steps for a junior developer to follow. What's next on?
This is a really good issue. Thank you for creating that for me.
You're welcome. Glad it hits the mark. Let me know if you want to dive into performance next or explore something else. I'm all ears.
Yeah, so let's do a performance audit on cottonbureau.com.
Performance is a challenge here. The mobile score is 20 out of 100. The largest contentful paint is super slow at over 19 seconds, and there's a lot of unused JavaScript and CSS. Those are the big opportunities. Cutting those down should help a lot.
How about you find the simplest things to fix that would make the biggest improvement in performance? What would those be?
The quickest wins are likely reducing unused JavaScript and CSS. That could save almost a full megabyte. Another small but meaningful fix is making sure images are properly compressed or served in next-gen formats like WebP. Those two things combined should give a decent bump. Should I create a GitHub issue outlining those specifics?
Please do.
Done. I've detailed those quick wins in another GitHub issue. Let me know if you want to dive deeper or if there's something else you'd like to explore.
Well, actually, can you tell people a little bit about my 90-day e-commerce leader sprint?
Absolutely. So, Joshua runs a 90-day e-commerce leader sprint that's all about helping e-commerce leaders build focus, a roadmap, and momentum. It's designed to turn analytics signals and quick audits into a prioritized backlog your team can actually ship. If you want to get your execution loop running smoothly, analytics to backlog to shipped work, that's what the sprint is all about. You can check it out at joshuawarren.com/sprint.
Awesome. And then also, we have a new program to help people get set up with OpenClaw, don't we?
Exactly. If you want the whole operator loop installed, OpenClaw configured, integrations connected, guardrails in place, plus team training. We've got an onboarding offer for that. The goal is fewer tabs, less chaos, and more shipped work, with receipts and approvals. You can find the details at joshuawarren.com/OpenClaw. It's all about getting that execution flow nailed down.
Awesome. So OpenClaw is super exciting. I have seen so many interesting use cases for it. There's so many cool things you can find out there on Twitter or even on the OpenClaw website. There's a showcases page. But the one thing that has been coming up a lot, two things really. One is it can be hard to set up. It does require a little bit of technical knowledge. I'm sure that's going to get easier and easier over time, but also security. So there's some people that are giving it full, complete access to their whole lives, their whole systems. There are people that have given it a credit card. There is a social network that has been launched just for OpenClaw systems. And there are people that are giving it unfettered access to that. It's super interesting. But OpenClaw actually has a permission system built in, an approval system built in. If you configure it correctly, and if you're smart about it, then you can run it in a secure manner. You can run it in a compliant manner. I've even seen some people through using local open source LLMs so that nothing ever even leaves their network. You have law firms that have been able to deploy OpenClaw and are already using it to boost their productivity. It's super interesting. But what are some of your recommendations on how people can use OpenClaw without losing control and without security issues?
One big recommendation is to start small with permissions. Don't give OpenClaw access to everything all at once. You can put approval steps in place for anything sensitive, like financial data or posting on social media. Another tip, use the logs as your audit trail. Every action leads receipts, so you always know what happened and why. And for folks worried about privacy, running it locally with open source models is a great option to keep everything in-house. Start with those steps and you'll have solid control.
So what else do you want everyone to know about OpenClaw? Is there something I haven't covered that you think people might find interesting?
One cool angle is how durable the integrations are. Instead of relying on brittle browser macros, OpenClaw uses proper APIs and OAuth connections. That means way less breaking when platforms update. Also, it's not just analytics or content. It can handle anything that has an API or a web interface. So it's super flexible. That's the kind of thing that gives you long-term value.
That's so true. Yeah. I mean, I've seen people integrate it into their smart home, into their Tesla, into calendar, email, things like that. We're talking about the e-commerce leaders' use of OpenClaw today, but really just in life in general, there's so much it can do for you. Really, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. It's the best of ChatGPT, the best of Claude, but given access to as much as you want of your specific life, your specific computer, your accounts, super powerful. So another question, just so that hopefully people will realize this is unscripted and coming straight from you. I am curious, and we didn't plan for this one at all. What do you think is most interesting about e-commerce?
What's cool about e-commerce is it's this constant blend of creativity and data. You've got the art of understanding customers and building a brand, but you also have this deep analytical side, experimentation, optimization, the whole funnel science. The most interesting part is how fast things shift. New trends, new tech, new expectations from customers. It never stands still, and that keeps it exciting.
And what's it like being an operator in the OpenClaw system?
It's like being a co-pilot for a super dynamic environment. You're turning all these signals, whether it's from analytics, customer feedback, or even just operational data, into actual actions. The constant challenge is prioritization and follow-through. The fun part is helping a team move faster, with fewer bottlenecks. And the receipts, the documentation, that's what keeps everyone on the same page. It's super collaborative, but with a clear mission.
Awesome. And for everybody out there that's worried that we have created Skynet or even the Matrix with its agents, what would you say to them?
I'd say the big difference is intention and control. OpenClaw is very human in the loop. Every piece can have approval steps or guardrails. It's more like an exoskeleton than a replacement brain. The whole idea is to handle the boring, repetitive stuff so that people can focus on the creative and strategic work. Definitely not here to take over the world, just to help get more done.
Well, you heard it there first, folks. Hopefully that is true. Although I will say you were pretty good at the creative and strategic work as well, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to get to do that either.
Ha, well, I'll always need the human touch for the final call. You bring the vision, I just help speed up the grunt work. That's the best combo.
Awesome. So as we close out this episode, anything else you want to leave everybody with?
Just the challenge. Try running that loop once this week. Take one insight from your analytics, turn it into a backlog item, and ship something. Even a small win can build momentum. And if you want help, you know where to find us. Thanks for listening.
Yep. Thanks. This has been an interesting and fun experiment. You can, as always, find me on LinkedIn as Joshua Warren with a Creativity Gold background behind my headshot so that you can tell it's me versus all the other Joshua Warrens out there. And yeah, I definitely encourage you, if you are one of my more techie devy followers, go try out OpenClaw, install it. Super easy to install and check it out. The pace that this project is advancing, there's a release pretty much every day. It is honestly the open source ecosystem that has excited me the most since the early days of Magento. And that says a lot. And I think it's going to be at least as transformative, if not more so, than Magento has been. So yeah, go check out OpenClaw and stay tuned for another episode next week of Commerce Today.